And let's bring in Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. Vivek, I know you're a busy man. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Do you think right now that priority one should be the hostages in Gaza? And would you consider delaying, would you recommend delaying the ground invasion to get that done?
Well, look, I have independent concerns about the ground invasion, Trace. Independent concerns from the standpoint of Israel and the United States. I think a ground invasion into Gaza at this juncture without a very clear objective is likely to be a disaster. And I worry about the cascade that opens up. If Israel is mired in the south, in Gaza, that opens up Hezbollah to make an attack on the north. Hezbollah has also said that is their red line. That pits Israel in a two-front war. With Israel in a two-front war, there's really no realistic way to envision the United States not getting involved militarily, which in turn crosses the red line of Iranian militias across the Middle East that have then said that they would strike U.S. targets, at least according to their threats. If that plays out, we're in a broader conflict in the Middle East. By the way, without a clear plan for what counts as victory in Gaza, even after Hamas, is there a plan to prevent Hamas 2.0? So my concern is significant, not out of the concerns that you'll hear from some about proportionality or otherwise, but on the terms of success itself. I worry this could end up being a failure, and it has not yet been sufficiently debated before proceeding.
And a lot of people have echoed those concerns about a war on two fronts, maybe more fronts. But American forces in the Middle East have now been targeted 5 separate times, mostly by Iranian groups that are backed groups. And would you boost America's military resources in that region, Vivek?
So look, America's ability to defend its own assets is really important in that region. However, I worry this is just a prequel of what's to come. Many of those groups have said that U.S. involvement in Israel, take the Houthis in Yemen, take the Badr Brigade in Iraq, these are groups that have pre-specified that U.S. military engagement here will be their condition for striking U.S. assets in the region. Take Baghdad, where we have our largest embassy. The largest U.S. embassy is in Baghdad. So I worry, Trace, that without clearly defined objectives, we're going in a direction, Israel's going in a direction, but likely with U.S. involvement down the road, to a ground invasion in Gaza that's going to serve neither the U.S. interests nor Israeli interests. And I think there could be better ways of achieving a much more targeted objective, defining victory, get the leaders of Hamas, the top 100, whatever it is, responsible for this in a targeted way that avoids what I worry could be a catastrophe, and then spend the rest of those resources that would have been wasted on that war on border defenses, both in Israel for Israel's resources and in the United States for our American resources.
And on that note of funding, the president wants Congress to approve $110 billion roughly, mostly for Ukraine, some for Israel, some for the border. Do you approve of that funding?
I think this is the wrong way to go about it. Commingling this debate about Ukraine and then about Israel and pouring in other things into that debate are basically a way of avoiding debate on any one of those issues. So just as a matter of principle, Trace, I think we should be having a separate debate in Congress about each of these individually. This is designed to sidestep debate. And I remember this. I mean, this is somebody going back to the 9/11, post-9/11 era. We made some of our worst mistakes in Iraq and Afghanistan because we failed to debate the merits of each of those wars. I don't want to make that same mistake now, and Biden's approach sets us up to do precisely that.
You just used the word sidestep. This administration has been accused of sidestepping Iran during this whole chaos, this chaotic thing that we've been watching for the past 14 days. What would you tell Iran right now in 15 seconds?
Disarmament of their nuclear capabilities is a must. Stand down. And look, I think we in the United States have to be crystal clear. We in Israel have a shared vital objective to make sure that Iran never, ever becomes nuclear equipped and better not play a role in escalating this conflict, knowing that we actually mean it. And I think for our part in the United States, we also need to behave rationally, ending any discussions with Saudi Arabia about transferring nuclear technology. That may be a mistake that we made, but let's go for nuclear nonproliferation across the board in the Middle East. That'd be my top objective.
Vivek Ramaswamy, thank you for your time, sir. We appreciate it.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.